still don't believe the season's over. So today we're going to be talking about a couple of trade targets. So what we're going to be talking about with these trade targets is not just this year, but next year. Like I said in the last video, Mike McDaniel seems to have figured something out that is different than before. You guys, a lot of people are very down, and I totally understand that, but you have to realize that we have never, besides the rookie year of Mike McDaniel, been able to keep up with Buffalo at Buffalo. And one thing that you have to take away from this is that this is not a rookie year where they couldn't figure us out. This was Mike McDaniel game planning to play the Buffalo Bills, and he basically took it to them. You know, the defense sucked, but for the most part, we took it to them most of the game. It's just unfortunate that they made a 61-yard field goal. The thing is that if Jordan Poyer doesn't hit that PI, you give Tua 50 seconds back, we're singing a different song for this season. So what we need to do right now, obviously we want to make a run for the season. Chris Grier is going to try and save his job, but also you can get a player. Bradley Chubb, don't know what the hell is going on with him. So need to get a player anyways. You get a player that goes alongside Jalen Phillips. And honestly, Chop Robinson looked a little better. He got his first half sack yesterday. So this is going to be someone that's for this year and for the next year. So the first one where we're going to get into is going to be Jadeveon Clowney. He's with the Panthers. Panthers are going nowhere. Now, he's older, of course, but he will give you that pass rush help that you need right now. And it's going to be super cheap. Like, I don't want to give away a crap ton of picks for someone like, obviously we all know that. But Jadeveon Clowney will probably be like a 6th-round draft pick that you go and get, and you immediately have pass rush help. And it's going to solve a lot of issues on this defense. I think the corners right now, Jalen Ramsey and Kendall Fuller, they're solid. They're doing a great job. I think when you get Javon Holland back, Jordan Poyer's crap, but most of the time it's just because the defensive line doesn't give any. So, you can't cover everyone for forever. Jadeveon Clowney is a great pickup. Azeez Ojulari, Kayvon Thibodeau just came back to the Giants, so he's going to be expendable. He's a young guy, 24-year-old linebacker, and he's got 6 sacks on the season. Which, again, we're talking about future, man. Jalen Phillips at this point, got to realize, I know it's a Jordan Poyer thing, but he's injured every single year, basically, and like significant injuries. It's been consistent in college, and now he consistently gets injured. So you kind of got to get somebody. Bradley Chubb, don't think he's going to be with us after this year. So you got to get someone. Azeez, if you're looking for the future, Azeez Ojulari is going to be a great pickup from the Giants. And again, probably costs like 4th or 5th round draft pick, probably 5th for him, seeing how the trades go. And he's going to give you, again, immediate pressure, and he'll help Chop Robinson out because he's going to be the guy at the end of his, I think it's his rookie contract right now, pretty sure. And he'll give Chop Robinson that experience as well to get him better. And the last one that I want to mention is Chase Young. Chase Young is another one of those guys that he's very talented and has just been very underwhelming in the NFL. And again, another guy that's going to cost like a 6th round pick, maybe 7th. But the upside for him, a lot of these guys, man, you go to different situations, you don't get the right coach. And I'm not saying that this is the exact scenario, but again, with Chase Young, you get him the right coach, guy could blossom because he has all the physical tools to be an incredible pass rusher. But the problem is he just hasn't turned out to be that. So again, this is probably my favorite pickup right now besides Ojulari, is that you get either Chase Young or Ojulari, and you have a young guy that you can coach up and get immediate pressure. The thing is even though Chase Young has not built up to everything, you're still going to get more pressure than Tyus Bowser or, right now even Ogba, because he's got a broken arm or like a ripped bicep or whatever. You're going to get more pressure than normal, and you can work with that. You can use that and build him into something that can be for the future. And this is what I'm kind of looking for. The trade deadline is not going to be just for this year. What I'm going to be truly honest with you, I think Chris Grier gets fired. I kind of hope so, because at the end of the day, what I don't seem to understand, I had this conversation with a lot of people, is that every good team that you see they typically built from the trenches. The Chiefs built from the trenches, and then you sprinkle in a wide receiver every once in a while in the draft. You get a quarterback and you build from the trenches. Every good team does this. And, one thing that you can kind of give flowers to Chris Grier is that he does get the guy he always wants to pursue, but the problem is he's always pursuing, like, wide receivers, and he's always pursuing, corners, and those guys are great. But the problem is that you're letting go of all of the interior guys, and that's what's kind of screwing this team. I understand he was going to cost a lot, but still, the Jordan Poyer, a lot of these signings that we've had this year, even Kendall Fuller and among others. Christian Wilkins was awesome, and having Christian Wilkins here this year would be significantly different. I understand he was asking for a lot of money, but one of the two you got to sign back, Robert Hunt or Christian Wilkins. Those guys produced, and it's tough, but you got to get one of those guys back, or you got to replace them with somebody. Having Just Sealer there, which is okay, and you didn't really replace him with anybody that was similar of production, is hurting us. Robert Hunt, having Liam Eichenberg there, is kind of hurting us. Now, of course, Butch Berry has done a phenomenal job with the offensive line, but it's still hurting us. And what I'm going to say with these trades is that you get one of these guys, not just to turn this season around, and hopefully, I think all of you that think we're tanking, it's just not going to happen. You do this, and if we don't turn this season around, you have a guy for next year that you have a pass rusher, and then you have depth. Something that I truly do enjoy listening to Dudley, is he's quite right. It's like you have a bunch of off-injured guys, and you have no depth behind them, and you think that they're just going to stay healthy all year. It's the same thing with Tua. If we had gotten a Joe Flacco, or we had gotten depth, I understand you have confidence in these guys, but this is the point of building a team. It's like, for instance, Patrick Mahomes had Chad Henne for a little while, and that guy was able to right the ship. You have to have a backup towards these guys just in case they get injured, because it's football. Chris Grier wants to spend all this money getting all these different pieces instead of just building the foundation of a team. And quick intermission, if you're liking this video, do me that favor, hit the like, hit that subscribe. Fins up, baby. And that's what I think we do with this. We make a trade to get a defensive pass rush. The offensive line is playing fine. I feel like we draft an offensive lineman in the offseason. And what you do is you build through the trenches this coming offseason, but getting a player right now that will fulfill that role so that we can have a lot of depth behind everybody. And again, like I said, we're 2-6. I know many people are down and we're not turning around, but honestly, the way that we played, we can beat any of these teams, and it's crazier things have happened. There's always a first for everything, and we'll see what happens. But trading for someone right now is very much so needed. I think in order to And what they're going to do is they're going to try and save their jobs, and that's what's going to happen. That's why they're going to trade for somebody and get the only thing that I think we're missing is basically a pass rusher. We just don't have that. So trade for one of these guys. Like I said, I think Chase Young would be perfect. Super low draft pick for a trade, and the Saints are going to be getting rid of people. They just fired their head coach. Just trade for a guy like that, coach him up. We have a little bit more of a pass rushing person on our team instead of just these mediocre dudes that they're just basically getting no pressure. You have someone to go alongside Chop Robinson right now, because at this point we just don't have anybody. And I think you look into next year as well. You get a guy that for next year as well. You see if he does good this year, and then you can sign him back, have more depth at that position, and just start focusing on hopefully turning this around. And if not, building through the trenches, and I'm hoping that maybe Chris Grier gets fired and we end up getting a general manager that wants to do that, build the two offensive line holes that we have and the defensive line, and start building that way. Because when we do that, we'll be unstoppable. Like the way that Mike McDaniel, the offense is rolling these past couple weeks, we just need a defense and we need a solid offensive line, and we're good to go. So we'll see what happens. As always, guys, fins up, baby. Love you all. Like and comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Love you all. Peace.